Welcome to all of the existing merchants and new merchants checking out SKUSavvy. This video is going to go through a complete getting starting guide. So what we're going to do here is we are going to look at what you would do if you had just come in and signed up to SKUSavvy so that you can get the most out of your account. Let's get started by introducing just your general dashboard. Now, when you first come in, you'll see a task over here to connect your Shopify, and that is going to be the first place that we start. So to do that, head over to Properties, Shopify, and I've already connected this Shopify, but I'll link to another video which goes through the exact guide on how you can connect your Shopify using a private app. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and set up your Shopify, and that will draw in all of your locations, your products, your inventory at each location, as well as once orders are placed, your customers and orders will come into SKUSavvy. So with that done, that's a big step in getting a lot of the initial data into SKUSavvy so that you have a starting place. From there, what we're going to do is you can look at and invite your employees. So click on invite and add all of the employees, and then you can assign them user permissions. You can click right here to assign all permissions at once, or you can go down through and provide the right permissions for each employee. The next thing that we are going to do in order to make the most out of your SKUSavvy account is to go over to your carriers, where here we'll be able to link various carriers that you might already have accounts with. So if you are doing FBA, you can go ahead and connect your Amazon shipping account, which will be able to leverage that as a shipping method or any of the other shipping methods listed here. Simply click within the desired carrier, add the account information, and hit link, which will then enable you to fulfill packages using that specific carrier, and we'll be able to pull on rates across different carriers if you've got more than one. From there, we're going to add packaging. So head over to packaging, and as you can see, I've already added several different package sizes. So what you want to do is go ahead and create a new package. Now, what I will say, if you are shipping quite often through poly mailers or other flat package sizes, go ahead and at least give a height of, let's say, 1. You can use fractions here. So, if you want to use 0.05 or 0.5, and then you select your desired metric unit of measure there, I should say. So you can also add a package weight, which will be taken into consideration on the actual package size when you are fulfilling orders, and we're submitting the weight of the units, the products contained within the order, I should say, as well as the weight of the box itself. So all of this information will be used when you are fulfilling orders. The next step towards getting started is to go ahead into your properties, go down to the toggle features where you can set up the desired workflow for your specific store. So up here we have a few different scan options. You can turn on scans during the picking process, such as to scan the bin, as well as to scan the item, or turn those off. Same thing on the packing process. What will happen is during your packaging process, if you turn on this scan, it will enforce anyone who is going through to fulfill an order to scan the item contained in that order and confirm the accuracy. The next setting that we have is to allow shipments to be marked as fulfilled without requiring a carrier label purchase. As I mentioned, during the shipping process, we are pulling on your carrier rates, and what we're submitting up to the carriers is the product information, product weight, dimensional information, as well as we are submitting the packaging weight as part of that. And they are going to give back rates according to your either pre-negotiated rates with the carriers or just the baseline rates. So this will enable you to bypass that entire process. This will come in handy for situations where you may be doing a local delivery or a pickup. This will allow you to go ahead and just mark the order as if it's been shipped right away. So this does, at that point, let SKUSavvy know that yes, this order has gone out the door. We're going to take the inventory quantity away because we're assuming that that order is going to be picked up or delivered, or in one way or another, maybe you're working with a separate carrier that doesn't have a connection within SKUSavvy. So that's a pretty important feature if you are going to be shipping orders without a carrier label. The next one is to create barcodes for batches. SKUSavvy uses a batching mechanism which puts similar orders together. And during the batching process, this enables you to, let's say you're going to batch up 10 orders and go ahead and pick those all, package them up, and ship them off pretty much all at the same time. This will enable you to create barcodes that can be printed out and placed with this individual batch of items, so that someone could come back in, scan the barcode, and we'll bring them right back into the batch. The next toggle feature is a way to batch up your picking separately by the location of the delivery. In this case, we're actually assuming that you're going to be delivering items to your customers, such as Shopify local delivery. And here, what you're going to do is create a batch name and assign postal codes to this specific zone. That way, when the batching is done, if you are using this method, it will assemble the orders and you'll batch them up by their respective postal code on the delivery address of that specific order. So that will come in handy for, again, situations where you might be delivering product to your customers in the last mile. The next setting that we're going to go through is enable transfers between warehouses. This is a cross-docking would be the classic term for this, which will enable you to have workflows between the originating and destination warehouses. On the originating side, it will take you through a pick flow, and on the receiving side, it will take you through an allocation workflow to be able to check in and confirm quantities and then allocate those quantities to your warehouse bin locations. The next setting is enable cycle counting, which cycle counting is a method of physically counting the inventory within your warehouse. Bin-to-bin replenishment enables you to go ahead and automatically set up replenishment between, let's say, your holding stock, such as in cases or pallets, over to your pick stock. So by setting this, you'll turn on this workflow that will issue requests to your warehouse staff so that they can go out and have a workflow to be able to bring product from one area of the warehouse to another. Enabling expiration dates and lot tracking for perishable items will turn on the perishable item marker for products, in which case when you check that product in through a purchase order, will have a lot assignment and expiration date for the specific product that's being brought in. The next one is on the item level, to automatically generate barcodes for items that do not have them. This will be a barcode that gets generated on the product variant itself. It will be a QR code that can be printed out in the case that those products do not yet have a barcode. Once you've got your warehouse features set up how you'd like them to be, we're going to go ahead and create a warehouse if you haven't already. Or if you've connected your Shopify and the locations have come in, then what you're going to do is actually create the warehouse layout. Again, I will link to the layout guide, which will take you through the process of actually setting up a new warehouse layout. As you can see, we've got a pre-made layout here. We're using Savvy. That may not be the most efficient layout. However, it does serve the purpose in showing that any warehouse layout can be created using SKUSavvy Visual Warehouse Management System. So once you have your warehouse set up, you're going to go ahead and start allocating the inventory to the bin locations on your warehouse layout. So the first step in doing this is if you've already connected your Shopify, you'll go ahead over to a specific warehouse inventory page where, as you can see, the inventory has come over from Shopify, and so we have uh, the listed quantity as well as the number of variants that are contained within this inventory quantity. So here I have already allocated the Savvy Burn to bin V4 shelf 15, and in this case down here, however, this inventory has come over from Shopify and we've got our variants there. However, this inventory still needs an allocation. So what you're going to do if you've already created your warehouse layout is give this inventory an allocation by simply selecting it and choosing a bin location or scanning a bin. This provides SKUSavvy with an accurate quantity of that warehouse, of that inventory within your warehouse. As you can see here, I've already allocated some of the variants into various bin locations. The next step, once you have allocated your inventory within SKUSavvy, is you're going to want to just go ahead and review your products. So to do this, we'll go back to our main company settings and click into products. Now, once you have imported your Shopify products, they'll be listed out here with their types and category information. If I click within a product, you can see that I have some general product information as well as other variant information here. Each of your variants will be listed with their corresponding information. Now, if I click within a variant, I can see that there's a variant is back ordered. So this product, whether it has come in from Shopify and it's out of stock currently, or whether you manually mark this, will be marked as a back ordered product, which when an order comes in for that product, SKUSavvy will automatically split that order into separate shipments so that you can ship out the available items first and wait until this product is then checked back in, where then you can go ahead and fulfill the rest of that order. The same way that Shopify actually works with this. We have options. The biggest thing here with your products is to make sure that each product has a barcode. If your product has come over from Shopify and you've already got barcodes associated with this specific product, you'll see those listed out here, which can then be printed out. If you have used the toggle feature, which enables a custom barcode creation for each individual item, you'll have a QR code listed there, which will work within the SKUSavvy system to identify an item and make sure that it is in fact the correct item. SKUSavvy does work best with barcodes. So you want to, if you haven't set up barcodes yet, go ahead and enable the feature that will automatically create barcodes for each individual product variant, and then you can go ahead and print these out. The next step, we're going to look across an individual variant. You can see that the inventory is in our different warehouses. We can see exactly within that warehouse where it's at. And if we've set up replenishment for a specific product, we can see where the low level, high level, and current level of inventory actually is. So moving right along, once we've reviewed the products, we are going to start batching orders. So this is going to actually get things moving in terms of being able to fulfill orders. What you can do is go within a warehouse again. The warehouse that is receiving the order, you will see a table of unbatched shipments. Unbatched shipments are basically open orders. And so if you go to your outbound orders table, you'll see all of the open orders currently that have not been fulfilled. Now, if you are fulfilling through Shopify or another platform, we will receive real-time order updates on that specific order to tell us that, yes, in fact, this order has been fulfilled and it will not be added to a order batch. So There is two ways of batching orders. You can come directly within an order, select the order, and go down and hit fulfill. This will enable you to do a single order fulfillment. And so what you can do is simply click on fulfill. If this order has already been batched up, then you can go to the batch that is containing this order. So to demonstrate, we're going to go ahead and batch up some of these unbatched shipments. So here, as you can see, we're going to do this batch by item similarity. The location similarity is for those clients who are going to be delivering to their local delivery areas. And that's where these zones come into importance. So by item similarity, we're going to put an item limit on the batch, which is going to cap the number of items that we're actually going to go out into the warehouse and pick. And we'll assemble all of the available orders that we can within this single item limit. From there, we're going to either auto assign employees, or you can select a few different employees that you want to distribute these batches across. So we'll go ahead and batch these orders up. Now we have a new batch created, which we can then click within. We got a notification coming in. Once we have batched up the fulfillments, we'll go ahead and click within a batch, and we'll see that our product that we have within this warehouse. Now, in the case that products have not been allocated to a specific bin location, go ahead and click on Adjust Inventory, which will pre-select the product, enable us to choose a bin location within our warehouse, and enter the quantity that we're going to add to that bin. And we'll add that, and we can go ahead and save. Now that change has been applied, so if we go back to our order batch, we can select this, we'll reload to get those new changes, and our inventory will be updated to reflect what we have on hand. Now, alternatively, if you haven't yet added product based on the inventory that came over from Shopify, that's where you're going to want to start. And if you haven't set up a warehouse layout, then you may want to go to that step so that you have your bin locations, and then you can go ahead and start allocating individual variants over to that specific bin, which will then on your fulfillment batches show you exactly where that product is within our warehouse. So what we're going to do is go into another batch that I believe has more product, not necessarily. We'll go ahead and pick this product. So we've picked that, and then we'll go through the final step, which is the pick, pack, ship. So in this step, what we're going to do is scan an item, confirm the quantity, get a shipping label from our carriers, print the label out, and mark this order as complete. So in the case that I'm going to scan this, which is going to give an error because we don't have any inventory within this batch, and we haven't yet picked this product. So what you're going to want to do in that case is go back in again to your inventory, start allocating the inventory to your bin locations, come back into the batch, and now you should see that product available to pick and finally go through the packing process. Now that the inventory has been allocated to this warehouse, because we went ahead into our inventory and allocated it, you'll see that we can go through a complete pick batch. So we're going to go down through each individual item and pick the corresponding number of units for this specific item to fulfill the actual the orders within this batch. So we'll add that, we'll pick this. As you can see, when you go down through and click on an item, SKUSavvy will show you the exact location of that item within your warehouse and the corresponding number of units that we need to pick to fulfill all of the orders within this batch. I have turned off for simplicity the scanning of a bin as well as scanning of a barcode on the product. However, these again can be turned on within the feature settings of your company account. I should also point out that there are batch settings here to either use test labels when you are trying to test out your picking. You can either show or not show the warehouse layout on the pick screen. And you can also select to print the label automatically when purchased. Next, you can turn on or turn off different carriers for this specific batch. So if you have specific types of orders that are only coming from one carrier, you could turn this on or off, as well as being able to print a batch barcode, which will print out and bring anyone who scans it right back into this batch to continue on the process of fulfilling all of the orders. So we'll go down through and pick all of these. Now that we've picked through the entire batch, we've got all the items that need to be gathered in order to fulfill several orders. We'll go click into next, where we can scan the item, confirm the quantity. We'll get a predetermined box size for this specific item, and that will go ahead and get a carrier label. You can also view the order information up here, and if you have orders coming in from Shopify, you'll get additional order details right here. So we'll scan this item. I'm going to mimic a scan now, which is only available on our super user account. Usually this will bring the camera directly up so that you can make a scan of the item. Scan the wrong item. Okay, so we've scanned the item. Now SKUSavvy has used your carrier accounts to pull in all of the live label rates, which are sorted by usually the cheapest and best option at the top. You can also sort these, and that sorting will remain active throughout all of the next batches that you choose. So we'll go ahead and purchase the rate. Now we could also, if you were going to be delivering this locally or having another carrier come and pick it up, you could mark this order directly as fulfilled. So now we have picked the batch, we've gone through, we have confirmed a scan of the product here, we have purchased our label from the carrier provider, and now we've gotten a label which we can go ahead and print out directly, which will give us tracking information once that rate has been checked in, which will be updated back to your Shopify orders. And your customer will actually have a custom portal where they can click into the order detail and see exactly what the status of this shipment is. So once we have gone through this process, that is all you really need to get started with SKUSavvy. You're going to go ahead and go through the rest of these orders contained within this order batch. Or, like I said, you can go directly into an order and start fulfilling this order straight from here. So this will take you back into the batch where it's already been assigned, and you'll go directly through the rest of the batch to get your orders all fulfilled. That is the onboarding guide. So hopefully that will come in handy to establishing a workflow with SKUSavvy that works for you. Feel free to reach out to us at specialist@skusavvy.com or leave a comment here, or you can go to our contact us page where you can fill out a form and let us know, and we can set up a meeting and or grab a meeting directly on the booking slot. The other piece of information I want to show is the onboarding guide, which does have a slightly different order than we talked about here. However, it is something that will help you out in terms of being able to get up and running quickly. Until next time, have a wonderful day and good luck with getting started on SKUSavvy faster, and we'll see you next time.